Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at a new way to add some RGB color to your gaming station or workstation with the Corsair LT100. At its core, these are a RGB light tower with some RGB around the base as well, and as you can see here, this one's not turned on, but in the back I have two of them set up so you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like while we talk about it. And another quick note here, the starter pack comes with two towers, while there is a available expansion pack that comes with an additional tower if you want to add a little bit more color to it. So let's get these set up and check them out. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Right off the bat here, let's talk about some of the pricing on the iCUE LT100. The starter pack, which comes with the two towers and the base, power plug, USB cable, and all of that, comes in at $130 for that setup. And then to add an additional tower, that's going to cost another $60. So not the cheapest way to get a little bit of RGB into your setup, but as we dive into the program, you'll see why that is actually a pretty cool way of adding some color to your setup. If you are just looking for a static color that doesn't change, it doesn't interact with anything, it doesn't have any configuration, you can of course just pick up an RGB strip from Amazon for, I think you can get some for like 20 bucks. I'll link one down in the description below, but this is a lot more than that. Some of the overall dimensions here, the towers stand at about 16.5 inches tall, and they have 46 different RGB lights throughout that tower. As you can see in the two in the back there, they're just kind of, this is the wave pattern, so they're kind of moving up through all those different RGB lights, which obviously all of that can be configured to whatever you want it to be. Getting it set up here, when you do get them out of the box, they come disassembled, unattached here at the base. And if you take a close look at the base here, you can see that the tower will fit in there either way, facing forwards or backwards. So if you want to have just some ambient light placed on your background or your wall, then you can point it backwards. But if you want a little bit more, brilliant strip of light, you can have that pointed forwards towards you, or something else in your room. So that's a pretty handy way of just getting it set up, however you want it for your space. Most of my testing, I had it facing the wall just to provide some ambiance, but obviously for this video I have it faced forward so that it really shows up in the camera. They do have a separate power plug which needs to be plugged into an outlet, and then there is a USB-A to micro USB cable that plugs into the controller side of the towers. To get the signal from one tower to the other tower, there is it's about a 5-foot long RGB cable that plugs into both of the bases. So that might limit your setup a little bit. I'm using an ultra-wide monitor back there right now, so it's just about at its max distance to get that around the monitor. So depending on what your setup is, that's something you might want to consider. But when you add the expansion tower, if you want that, that does give you another 5-foot cable as well, so you can extend your whole setup out another 5 feet. One other really handy design feature, which we have installed on this one right now, is this little headphone stand. So this comes disassembled, and obviously you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but if you have a setup on your desk and it's next to your monitor and that could be a handy place to hang your headset, you can just clip that on, and then you have a really handy way of hanging your headset when you're not using it, to keep that close at hand. To control all of the lighting on the towers, you have to use Corsair's iCUE software. So that's super easy to download and install, and then within that there's quite a bit you can do to change the color on the LT100. All of the light settings are controlled through the iCUE software from Corsair. First, select or create a profile. Profiles can be really helpful for different games, or depending on what you're doing, whether you're watching a movie or if you want to set something up for a specific streaming setup. You can also set the different lighting cues to automatically start based on what program you're running, so there's quite a bit you can do in there. Once you have a profile, then check the lighting setup. Here you can drag the location of the towers to either side of the display to make sure they have the correct orientation. Then once your orientation is set up, the next step is to select your lighting effects. Corsair has built a ton of different effects into these just in their stock setup. Everything from Super X, which bounces between quite a few different effects, to a classic rainbow wave, and even lighting based on the temperature of different computer components. And one of the other main ways that Corsair markets this is and I've already talked about a little bit, is the ambience mode. So it'll respond to any video that's being played on your display or also any audio that's coming through. As far as the ambient video mode, I was a little concerned about what it would do with this ultra-wide monitor, because not all of my content plays in the entire width. If you open most videos on YouTube, it only plays, kind of in the middle bit, and when I'm gaming on it, I'm not using the entire width of the display for most games either. But Corsair's built in a handy way to set what part of the monitor each tower picks up. By dragging the two different windows that represent the 2 or more towers you have connected, you can set a window for what's picked up. So that's the basics for the actual starter kit, and then we'll talk just a little bit about the expansion pack as well. With an extra tower, base, and Y cable, it's easy to get more lighting for your battle station. And getting this set up within the iCUE app is super simple for the expansion. Once you have everything plugged in, there is a LED detection button that you can push in the app, and that will automatically detect the 3rd tower, and then you can just drag it around to whatever your orientation is on your desktop. So obviously all this is purely cosmetic, and I've just done a very simple first look at what all you can do within the iCUE software. There's quite a bit more you can do in there. You can select specific zones if you don't want the entire tower to light up to different things. You can layer different effects. Yeah, there's quite a bit you can do inside of there. It reminds me quite a bit of Razer's Synapse 3 software. And just like the Razer Chroma Cave that we set up last year, if you want to add some colorful immersion to your battle station, then the new iCUE LT100 is a great, powerful way to get there. It can be a fun way to take your stream to the next level or to get some more immersion in your favorite games. Having this set up for ambient mode is a lot of fun when playing games like Forza 7, especially with the ultra-wide monitor. You have, the screen going super far, and then you have more of the colors being displayed around the display. So it's a fun way to add a little bit more immersion to your gameplay experience. So what do you think of the Corsair iCUE LT100? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.